Okay, hello everyone. My name is Ludwika Freiberg, and together with my colleague Mark, we work at the European Landowners Organization. The ELO is based in Brussels, and we work mainly on policy and EU-funded projects such as SoilWise. We represent the interests of farmers, land managers, and landowners. And I will give now the floor to my colleague Rob to introduce SoilWise and the project.
Okay, thank you, Ludwika. First of all, let me share a presentation so I can explain a little bit about SoilWise. Just to check, can you see the presentation in presentation mode now?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So, yes, welcome all at this demonstration of one of the use case efforts in SoilWise. So first of all, my name is Rob Locus. I work at the Wageningen University and Research, particularly at the Environmental Research Department of our organization. And we're one of the partners in the SoilWise project. And with SoilWise, we're trying to make soil data and soil knowledge, and especially where it concerns soil health, better available and usable for, well, all kinds of people, from researchers to politicians to land managers. Very short about the project. It's a 4-year project and it started 1.5 years ago. So we're in the 2nd year of the project, and we have been quite busy with trying to find out what our various stakeholders would like from SoilWise, with building some of the things that we're demoing right now. So you will not see everything, but the things that are most relevant for your group, land managers. We work with 15 project partners over 7 countries, and we work with use cases, and I'll come back to that later. SoilWise and the infrastructure that we're setting up is also expected to become part of USO, which is the European Soil Observatory, which will be run by the European Commission. And if you look at SoilWise, then you see in the middle that there's a SoilWise repository, which is a big bucket of data and knowledge. So data sets, documents, movies, all kinds of things around soil health. And that we're collecting this from, on the right side, a lot of soil projects that do research, but also from other sources like citizen scientists outside of European research. On the other hand, we work, partly for the European Commission, because JSC, which is part of the European Commission, is going to take over what we have built at the end of the project and run it. But we also work for other stakeholder groups, and land managers is one of them. So that's what you see here. Like I said, we work in SoilWise with a set of user cases to demonstrate different functionalities around soil data and soil knowledge. You can see them here, and you see the first one on the left side is soil health performance indicators for land managers. So that's the user case that we're currently looking at in this demonstration. There are different use cases. So there's one on network of soil knowledge and data. There's one on policy making evaluation and soil health. There's one on specifically focusing public authorities and living lab actors. And there's one on, more business, let's say, for new products, technology, and services around soil health. But we're focusing mainly now on this first user case, and there we look at land managers, landowners, farmers, foresters, and nature conservatists. Still a bit difficult for me to distinguish between what exactly is a landowner, land manager, farmer, forester, but I mean, we try to serve all of those groups. And there are actually two things that we want to do for land managers. First of all, SoilWise and the SoilWise repository is, like I said, a big bucket of data and knowledge. So you can find everything around soil health there. And we try to collect that from an amazing amount of resources and bring it together and also offer it in a catalog. So the first thing we do is trying to help you with finding everything which is relevant in soil health and the data and knowledge that exists. That's what we call our catalog. And you can compare it a bit to Google, but then specifically for soil and agriculture, and hopefully also a bit better than Google in the sense that it should provide more targeted information than you would get by a Google search. This specific part, the catalog, is more focusing on intermediaries that serve land managers, I would say, because you will see if I demonstrate it later that it provides you a list of things that might be relevant for you. But these are data sets and documents and other kinds of things. And that's interesting, but you still have to do a lot of work and you have to have a lot of soil and data and agronomic knowledge to be able to analyze and interpret it. So we see that more as something for intermediaries where they can find relevant data to build up their services for land managers. So that's the first thing I want to demonstrate in a minute. And then the second thing, and that's specifically coming from the land managers group, because the catalog is quite broad and can be used by all our stakeholder groups essentially. So what we also discovered is that there's quite some demand for, well, let's call it actionable farm advice. So not offering a list of documents and data that might be interesting for getting what you want, but actually allowing to ask questions. So we call it natural language queries. So you can, and you probably know chatbots like ChatGPT. You can just ask questions to a chatbot and you get, reasonably actionable answers, hopefully. So there we try to build the ChatGPT for soil. Again, hopefully better than ChatGPT because we try to direct it in such a way that it uses valuable knowledge on soil and on agriculture. And here indeed the focus is on landowners, land managers, etc. So the group that we're currently looking at for this demonstration. And yeah, the trick here is that you don't have to dig into those data sets and documents, but those data sets and documents are sort of under the hood of the chatbot, and the chatbot uses it. Actually, the large language model behind the chatbot uses it to build up the answer to specific questions. So I'm going to demonstrate those two things now. First of all, starting with the catalog. I have to go and switch my sharing because I need to share my browser now. So let me see. So you should see something like welcome to the SoilWise Data and Knowledge Hub.
Yes.
So this is the entry page, the home page of the catalog, and you can see it provides some news from the Soil mission, but that's not what we're looking at right now. You can see it says search through the catalog, and what I will do now is first go to the catalog so you can see how it works. It collects a lot of data from, at the moment, I think 10, 15 different repositories over Europe. And you can see here, I'm not sure if you can see my mouse moving, but it's more than 20,000 results in this catalog. So we have 20,000 data sets and documents and scientific publications that are sort of collected. And we don't collect the whole data set and the documents, we just collect metadata about those documents. So it sort, yeah, like a catalog. You can search through it, but if you really want to have the data set or the document, we only provide a link and you can access it through the link. So how this works is like this. Let's say you want to search for data sets in Belgium. Carbon, well, I did it before, so it's already in the history. And I want to sort it by date to do it the other way around. If I then say search, you see that it gives 42 results. And hopefully, oh, this is, I can do this, that makes it easier. Facets is a way to sort of discover what kind of documents are there and what kind of keywords are connected to it. It's still a bit slow. That's why we don't have it on by default. So you have to set it yourself. But you can see here that there are 42 results and 23 of them are data sets. 9 of them are journal papers, 8 are documents. And then you can click on one of those items in the list. You see also the link to soil chemical properties, but I'll take all the data sets for this demo. So what you see here is all the data sets that are available on carbon for Belgium. And yeah, that allows you to search through the catalog. And like I said, I mean, you still get a lot of results, and you probably won't get to the most perfect result at the top at the moment, but you have to do some work still to select. I mean, first of all, to find out if the data that you're looking for is there, of course, but then also to find out what's the best data set for you. You have to download it, and you probably also have to do things with it. You have to analyze it and probably do some data science around this data set. So that's mostly for the people who have budget and time to analyze data and to make that available in the end for land managers. So those are the intermediaries that I talked about before. So this is actually the catalog. And what we are going to do in the coming period is make the data and the knowledge more specific. I'm myself not convinced that those 20,000 documents and data sets are all fully relevant for our work. So we need to be more selective. And on the other side, we want to connect to more data sources. So it gets sort of a full view over the whole soil health and agriculture domain in Europe. But that's something for the coming development period that we're starting in a month or two. And that will, yeah, probably be shown in the next demonstration that we're going to organize later. What shall we do, Lodewijk? Shall we first do some questions on this, or shall I first do the other demonstration?
As you wish. I think if people already have questions for this, we can start with that and then move on to the chatbot afterwards.
Okay. So if there are any questions now.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, you cannot see me because I do not connect my camera. I'm Blandine from France. So thanks for this, for all this job. I have a question, but maybe it will have his response with the other presentation demonstration after. But we'd like to know if you are going to insert a kind of expertise, offer a kind of expertise to the users, or it is only some documents that were collected in different existing European repositories. So maybe the bot will provide this kind of expertise.
Yeah, I think
A
what
kind
you
of,
said.
if I can precise, maybe do your project aim to be a kind of center of resources, resources that are data, that are papers, that are publication, but not only that are also some, you spoke about knowledge. So could you precise what is knowledge in your case?
Yeah, that's yeah, a difficult question. I mean, we've been discussing about what knowledge is for quite some time. For this catalog, it's yeah, documents. It's well, you can see it here. If I do reset, then you can see what kind of documents are, or what kind of knowledge is here at the moment. It takes a bit of time. So we have datasets, journal papers, documents, and software at the moment. But that's only within those 42 results. So you will probably, if you have broader research, broader searches, you will also have things like movies. Yeah, you can have different things. So it's quite broad. So that's one thing. That's probably what you as an end user will get as knowledge. But the other side of it is there's also a lot of knowledge under the hood, so to say. So what we try to do is to link all this material with, well, vocabularies. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that, but sort of, yeah, vocabularies that allow to connect terms together, so that you can, well, if you look for carbon, for instance, like here, that you also find the documents on soil organic carbon or on soil organic matter. So everything which is synonym or close to what you're typing. And of course, the chatbot that I will demonstrate later is yeah, actually a big yeah, bunch of knowledge, but you really don't see. It's a lot of statistics behind the chatbot that yeah, sort of generates the answers to your questions from the knowledge that's in the SoilWise repository. So it's quite broad, but in the end, I think for you, what the most important is that you get either things like documents, data sets, scientific papers, etc., or hopefully a good answer to a question that you have on soil health and land management.
Thanks.
Sophie, you have a question?
Yes, hello everybody. Thank you for the presentation. I have a question about, well, maybe I have two questions. One is about the updating. You have done a big job now with gathering all these materials, but how is it going to be updated in the years? Is it GRC, Joint Research Center, that is going to do the job? Yeah, that is my first questions.
Yeah, yes and no. The Joint Research Center is going to host and maintain this system, but what it actually does is that it gets to those repositories every night in this case, and harvests whatever is available. So if new data comes into those repositories, we can see that and we can harvest it and get it into the catalog. So in principle, everything which is put into those different repositories that we're connected to gets into SoilWise also through automatic mechanisms. So that there shouldn't be too much, let's say, maintenance on that part. But of course, we sort of rely on those repositories to be maintained. So we try to connect to repositories that are persistent and that are maintained. So not every repository is a good candidate to be connected to SoilWise, because we want to know that that it will be kept maintained over the future.
Okay, thank you very much. And so my second question was about type of, you talked about movies or, well, videos.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wondered if it was also some kind of automatic research on YouTube, or if it's only about collecting informations and films on those repositories.
It's at the moment only those repositories. There's some discussion about using YouTube. I don't think we're going to do that directly, but of course, through those repositories, there are links to YouTube. So that's the way we get to YouTube, not directly, but through the metadata that comes from all those repositories. Okay, so if there are no additional questions, I'm going to be to the most experimental part of our work at the moment. It's for us also quite exciting. It's this one. Again, question, can you see welcome to your SoilCompanion?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, good. So yeah, like I said, this is a chatbot, and it's a prototype. At the moment, it doesn't use yet the full repository of SoilWise, but it's a subset of documents that we selected because we thought that were the documents that were most relevant for soil health and for farm management and the relation between it. So that's something that you need to know before. So there's like, I think 100 documents under this chatbot. It uses the same kind of mechanism that ChatGPT uses, but it's local, so it doesn't go to the internet. It uses the documents that we provided. And what you can do is just ask questions. I mean, most of you probably know chatbots, but you can ask, for instance, what is it? I'm going to start with a generic question. What is the definition soil health? And then it uses its knowledge in those documents that we provided to to generate an answer on that question. So yeah, I'm not, it's just too generic. I'm not going to through it, but you can grasp the idea, I guess. You see, it makes a sort of list of things that it thinks are important for soil health, and it also in the end gives some references to what document it has used to derive that information. So this is the most important document that it used for generating the answer. Well, something more interesting maybe is how can I improve my soil health? So you can see it gives you some interesting ideas, but still quite generic. And well, we did some demonstration before, and I think the most important and relevant remark for us was that the answers at this moment are too generic, and if you're a land manager, you really want to use localized information to say something about what you should do on your specific parcel, for instance. So that's a bit of a difficult thing, because first of all, you need more than just information on the European level for that. You need probably specific information for a specific region or a specific country, or maybe even more localized, and you need localized data. So if you want to know something about the soil management of a specific parcel that you're managing, then the chatbot also needs to know something about that parcel. So that can partly come from open data, but that's usually not enough. So you should also provide some data, that you have yourself on your parcels, and that's what we're trying to do now. But of course, there's an issue there with things like sensitive data. So if you're a land manager, you're providing your data to a chatbot. So that there are several issues with implementing that, and that's what we're currently working on. We have not yet linked our chatbot to, let's say, sensitive or private data from land managers or farmers. But what we have done is experiment a bit with specific lab reports. So I can show a lab report like this, but I have to switch sharing again. Let me see. So this is a fictional soil lab report for parcel in the Netherlands that has a specific crop rotation. It's on sandy soil, and it has specific soil properties. So you see something about the soil texture, the bulk density, things like pH, electrical conductivity, etc. So nitrogen levels, phosphorus levels. Well, sort of a short list of things that could come from a lab report, from a soil lab. And our idea now for this demo is to feed this to the chatbot to see if he can make sense of it. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to switch back to the chatbot again. And I'm going to ask, can you provide me our management advice? I'm not the best typer, fortunately. I'm also going to say that this year I'm going to sugar beets. And then I also, oops, I push return too fast. I'm going to do that again. So I'm adding this soil lab report, and I'm asking, well, can you give me some farm management advice? So it gives me some advice on soil preparation. So it says that my sandy soil has good drainage, but may struggle with water and nutrient retention, and I should consider incorporating organic matter, etc. Add organic material. So the nitrogen level apparently is low for sugar beets. So it advises to apply a nitrogen fertilizer, etc. So, and I have to say with this, first of all, like I said, it's based on a limited set of knowledge right now. So things might be missing still. Second, I'm not a soil scientist or an agronomist, so for me it's hard to judge how good this is, and that's also one of the things that we want to do in the next phase, to look at this with soil scientists and with agronomists to see where the weaknesses are and how we can fill those gaps. But it gives you an impression, I think, of what you can expect. I think for now, yeah, I would leave it with this, because I think, yeah, at 6 we want to close, and I want to leave some room for questions. Yeah. Any questions from the audience?
Maybe I can start with one question. If you can also write in different languages in the chatbot and the catalog.
Yeah, yeah. So I did everything in English now, but I saw we have some French audience, so I can just ask chatbot, because that's particularly what they're good in, chatbots, language models, so they know everything about language. French. So there we go. So I think once, yeah, the results are good from this chatbot, then the strong thing is that you can ask it the same question in every European language and get your answers in every European language. Yeah, so good that you asked, because that's an important feature of those chatbots.
I have one question.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not very familiar with the chatbot, so I don't know what the score is at the end of the response, the answer. There is something in red. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a statistical score. It sort of yeah, indicates how good the result was. So yeah, the higher the score, the better it fits with the question. And of course, I think it's if you go to the configuration, you can see here that it said it only gives one result. So depending on how you set this, you get a list of documents that are relevant, and you can also yeah access those documents. I'm not sure why it disappeared now, but so yeah, that's let's say an indication of which documents we use and how relevant the chatbot or the large language model thought it was for the answer to the question.
So in fact, a lot of improvement is possible. Only 0.37%. If that comes to 100, then you got the right answer.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure if it fully works like that, because yeah, it's all statistics behind it. So, but yeah, I've seen results where the score was more than 0.5, so it can actually, yeah, definitely be higher than that. But yeah, we need let's say a combination of soil scientists and agronomists and yeah, let's say IT specialists to improve this. And like I said, that's the main goal of the next phase of the development of this specific part of SoilWise.
And could you ask a question about what is the soil type I have in this town or this?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it would know the answer with the limited amount of documents that we have right now, but can try it. What is the major soil type? Can you give an example of a region or a town or?
I can give you my town, but I'm not sure. In Saint-Tré, you can C-I-N-T-R-E. Yeah. In
Like
France.
this?
Yeah.
Interesting to see if it's not very specific, I would say.
Yeah.
It knows where it is.
But what I was expected is that is the source of the information, because it can use I don't know, say grids, a lot of things. I was just curious about the source of the information.
Mm-hmm.
But in this case, it is you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's unfortunate that we cannot have a direct link to this. It's interesting to see what exactly is in there. It is a very vague title, hydi.pdf. So
yeah,
I might be able to look it up later to see what exactly is in the document. But yeah, if it doesn't know, you see that it also refers to things outside of its knowledge base, like
yes,
local soil servers or databases. And yeah, I mean, as long as it's not in the system, it will try to be careful with what it says.
Yeah.
So I think that's also something with chatbots. Sometimes what they call hallucinate. So we have done our best to instruct this chatbot that it shouldn't hallucinate. So just say that you don't know if you really don't know.
Yeah, but are you going to test these tools with the real people? I mean, real farmers, real land users.
Yeah. That's the idea that we through ELO talk to some land managers that actually work on the field, so to say. But we also think about connecting it to a farm management system and see how that works. And that's a bit more complicated, because then you get actually the question about consent for data usage and stuff like that. So it takes a bit more time to organize that.
To construct this demo, we consulted a number of farmers, but if you would be interested to join this group for validation, we are really looking for people that can help us identify the right questions, and then the people behind SoilWise, like Rob, they can then start trying to find solutions. But we have to go into interactive modus with people on the field and see what we can deliver.
Thanks for the invitation, but I'm so busy yet.
Yeah.
Any other questions at the moment?
I have questions.
Sure, go ahead.
Can it provide pictures or images of soil, or if we ask what is a colon ball or something?
No, not at the moment, I think, but it's an interesting suggestion. I mean, at Wageningen here we have Isrik, who has they have a soil museum with all kinds of archives of different soil profiles. So could be interesting to look at that.
And also, I had a question related to soil maps and the questions from Blandine. Do you plan to connect this to soil grid or to the region, the soil data, the European soil database?
Yes, well, actually, the connection is kind of key to SoilWise, because European Soil Database is from JSC and they want to include it into the system. But I think the question is also, can we connect it to the ChatBot? That should be possible, but we have to think about that. I mean, I would prefer working with farm data, at least starting with working with farm data, but it would be a nice way to maybe have some backup information if things are unclear.
The database, the European soil database, could provide some information to answer questions like Blandine, what is the soil type in my in my area? It's not very accurate, but it could give an idea.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes, I think it will be one of the more popular questions, probably.
Yeah, I'll write that down as a suggestion for the new developments. It's a good idea.
And also, I was thinking to Soil Navigator. It was the former European project, I think. And the idea was to put farm information on the different crops and different practices, and see how it would some changes would affect the soil functions. And that the aim was the land managers and people, well, the same kind of people that could use this chatbot, I would say.
Okay. I'm thinking, because Mark also mentioned a project which sounded a bit familiar to me, but I'm not sure if that's the same project.
No, that's another one, but we have to, it's also a very good suggestion. Thank you very much. In fact, that's what Rob was telling you. We have to connect all different repositories and sources of information, because what SoilWise does is harvesting all those information to try to give you an answer to the chatbot. So must be taken into account probably in the list of repositories or sources where we can collect information, because this is quite this is very relevant, of course. We are doing something similar in another project, Soil Values, and there is also another project, Klima Farm Demo, who is doing analysis there too. So yeah, would be very interesting. Thank you. I will look it up.
And Rob, I saw that Soil Navigator is also being developed with Wageningen Uni. So maybe there's a way for you to connect.
Yeah, that should be easy then. I have to find out who exactly that was. But let's say my Soil colleagues will probably know. So. All right, is there anything else people want to know or ask?
For now, it's okay. We
Go
will
ahead.
be, we'll look at the different improvement that you will bring during the project.
Yeah, I hope that the next demonstration will be better and will answer some of the questions that we cannot answer right now.
Yes.
Hopefully also about the soil type around Centre of France.
I wondered if within all the data sets that were included, the French I don't know if it's a repository but there is a huge database with all the list of the soil studies, and that is it is provided by the INRAE from Orléans, and so at least the question from Blandine could be the answer could be there is a soil study in this area, and you can consult.
Yeah.
Yes, but for that you need to have some really different links between the different repository and in an exhaustive way. Because
Go ahead, Mark.
If those data are available at the European level or made available at the European level, normally SoilWise must have access to this, Rob, isn't it?
Yeah,
yes.
but I know that in France there's also national repositories.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if we are harvesting these already, but I have to check with my colleague who does the harvesting. It's a good point because I think there's a lot in France, actually.
And we also have kinds of special repositories and the special tools to deliver some special information.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
Sophie brought the link.
Okay, so yeah, we'll dig into that. Good point. There are more national portals that we're currently not harvesting, so there's still a lot of work to do on the national level for more countries. That's for sure. Okay. So, Lodewijk, what do you think? Do we close the meeting?
I think if there's no more questions, we can close. Yeah.
We are very grateful for your questions.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you, really, because all the questions, we always get a little bit further, and we understand as well what people want, especially in the agricultural sector. So really, thank you for all the questions and comments.
You're welcome.
And also, if anyone wants to join the next meetings and the validations we have to do, you can contact me or Rob or Mark, and yeah, we can be in touch. For the rest, I hope you all have a good evening, a good rest of the day. Thank you very much for attending.